Saturday, and we're here in West Marin near the headlands. We're getting ready to visit a historic Nike missile base. Back during the Cold War in the 50s, 60s, 70s, these bases were all over the country. They were set up so that the Russians came invade and we could blast the suckers out of the sky. So today, we're going to go see what's actually inside one of these Nike missile bases. Come on with me.
On it, and now it's called Ready Ground. The launcher is kind of like, since it's military, it's like any other weapon. It has a magazine, the rounds, they call these rounds, they go in the magazine, just like putting 9mm bullets in a gun. And they sit down there, they're maintained, and if we have to go to a alert status, they stick them on the launcher, they bring them up in the elevator, and they can erect them up and get ready to fly. They're ready to fly 7 seconds after the launcher reaches level. The only thing that has to happen is the gyro has to stabilize so that the missile knows what its orientation is. When they launch it, the first thing the missile does after the booster drops off is it rolls to this orientation right here. This missile actually thinks in the area of down, up, right, and left. So it rolls to this orientation so that we can send it plus and minus roll, plus and minus pitch commands and direct it to the target. It works. Really. I never saw one miss. Never. Wow. I saw some not launch, but I never saw one miss. It hits it every time. It's very, very, very over-engineered.
Command is given to launch. So the aircraft coming in. The time it actually launches, how much time is that?
Unmeasurable. It's manually done. You know, all we do is just push the button, the launch button. Boom. And when you hit that button, it's just like the world rock and rolls. It's like if you were out in the launcher area, you'd be dead. It would just blow you away the way when that booster goes. But there's no measurable delay except in electrons. Because what this does, when we have this thing turned to the launcher area, this represents the launcher area. These represent the launcher rails. So this is just making connections. This is electrically connected to those squibs. The squibs are basically blasting gas. So when you hit this, you're basically blasting the blasting gas, and it's gone. And I wish we had the film of when this thing comes off the launcher. The booster burst burns for 4.5 seconds. It's gone. It's just gone. And it really looks cool because you cannot give it any turn commands while the booster's on. It's just getting it out over the ocean. When that booster comes off, it pulls a lanyard you see back there, and that enables it to take the steer commands. The first steer command is a full dive. Because what they want it to do is, as it comes off, then they want it to dive as hard as it can towards the target. The idea is to get it there quick. So it dives until it's at the right orientation. So it just, when it goes up, it looks like it just goes up and it's just gone. It just turns and it's gone downrange. It's awesome. Those are about 3.56. Where's that come from? The idea of the system was not to shoot down Soviet bombers. The idea of the system was to prove to the Soviets that we can and will shoot down any bomber that approaches. That was the whole idea. It was daytime. We can do it. We will do it. And we launched it several times a year just to prove that it works. They never came. And the whole idea in the military is to hurt the morale and confidence of the person coming. We wanted every Soviet pilot to walk out to their bomber to know they probably weren't going to make it and they weren't going to come. No, we're going to put a nuclear, what they call it a ring of steel. We're going to put a ring of steel up there. You're not going to get through. You're not going to go home. But it worked. They never came. Alert drills, and we'd practice surface-to-surface missions. We'd practice intense, high-volume target missions, nuclear weapons, security, all that stuff. The hot battery had alert twice a day, noon and midnight. And they would actually call us to alert status just like a war. And the blazing skies, 32nd ATCOM commander, prepare for nuclear warfare, and we did that twice a day, the whole time you're hot, and every day you practice a surface mission. But that was our stand. That was how I was in Germany about pushing the button to drop down, because you knew you were going to kill a lot of innocent people when you did that. Because we're going to drop it in Poland. We're going to drop it in Heidelberg. We're going to do something like we practice that every day, and we talk about the fact is, can we really do that? Well, I guess I can, and maybe eat a gun later. I don't know. But when I was living in Portland, I used to work up in Portland. I commuted back and forth to Portland to work for a year, and there's a large Russian community up in Portland. And I was on the bus to go back to my car. And I noticed while I was waiting in the bus for everybody else to come out of the airport, that the driver's name was Vitaly. It's a Russian name. So I got to talking to him, and we compared notes. It turned out the exact same time I was sitting on a battery, he was a tank commander on the other side of the border. So he knew if he came across the border, he was probably going to get vaporized. And I'm sitting there wondering if I'm going to have to kill him. So we would have beer, and we said just like, and I still email him. I mean, it's just really cool to think that things change so much to where we can be friends with. The Soviets are our allies, supposedly. Right? Sometimes, yeah. Any other questions?